That's a good one. Dang, these on the spot questions are gonna have me thinking, man. Let's see how fast I can come up with an answer.
Oh no, this isn't
Um,
rapid fire, so you're good.
oh, this isn't rapid
No,
fire?
no, no. I'll let
I
you
can
know. So
only
you're
imagine
good.
the next. Okay. So something hard I had to learn and then before I could teach it to others. So honestly, what we just talked about, like not spending on things you can't afford. So it's funny, like when I had my first couple credit cards, before I got introduced to credit, right? And when I was in high school, I had this teacher, econ, or not econ, what's it called? Economics. We had a mini course on credit. So honestly, shout out to him. He taught us for like a week about credit, tiny, tiny mini course. But because of that, I opened up like my first two credit cards. So when I wanted to get my first car in college, I actually ended up using my credit card as a down payment. So I had like a $3,000 credit card. I spent the full 3K to get into that vehicle. And for a long time, I just didn't have enough money to make big payments on that credit card. So my utilization was always showing high because that card was like super max. I was making the bare minimum to keep my credit in good standing. I just didn't have extra money to pay that thing faster. So probably for like 6 to 7 months, I had credit that was really lowered because that card was showing maxed out. Eventually, summer break, I got some money, paid that card off in full, credit jumped right back up. But that was a learning lesson for me because I always thought like, hey, if the money's on the credit card, like whatever, right? Let's just spend it, let's use it. And then I wasn't thinking about it. I just wanted to get into the car. And honestly, that car probably shouldn't have got it. Didn't really have income as a college student, but I still made it work out. But I'd say for like the average person, definitely like using a credit card as a down payment to get into a car probably tells me you don't have the money to actually get into that vehicle. So I kind of had to learn the hard way, like don't spend money you don't have. For about 6 months, my credit score was a little bit lower, but again, we made it through. We kept our credit in good standing and we bounced back. But yeah, I think that's the answer for that.
Yeah, that's a good answer too. Like don't use like yes, of course you probably most likely on the average person you are going to have to get a loan for the car, but don't utilize your credit card because then that's a clear indication that you probably cannot afford it. That's a good one. The
Yep.
second question is when someone comes to you with bad credit, do you usually see a numbers problem, a discipline problem, a mindset problem, or a lack of education problem?
Okay, I usually see all of the above
Yeah.
at the same time. So here's the thing. I have some clients that really just had lack of education, and I have some clients that uh, they just have a discipline problem, right? So I've had some people, they come to me. Here's the thing about bad credit, right? Credit is in your control. It's never something you can just say, like, oh, it randomly popped up, or oh, I randomly got this. That is a lie. And I hear this every single day. And it's normal for people to say that because nobody wants to admit guilt. But here's the reality. When you take out a loan, you have signed with that bank that you are going to pay them back every single month. It does not matter the situation. So when something happens in your personal life, maybe you had an unexpected expense, maybe you let somebody borrow money and you don't have any more money to pay back the loan, that is what's going to cause bad credit. But then you can't blame it on the bank for not understanding your personal situations because they don't care about that. They cared about the obligation that you signed with them saying you're going to pay us back. So a lot of times I hear excuses when I hear bad credit. I hear, oh, it was a card with a high interest rate, or oh, they didn't tell me everything before I signed into it. Guys, before you take out a loan, before you take out a credit card, read what you're getting into, see if you can afford that payment. And if you really can, then you can sign. If you can't, don't take it. So I just hear a lot of excuses when it comes to bad credit. And now there are some people that are miseducated. So some people don't understand that, you got to pay this thing back every single month. Some people, they just weren't taught credit, so they think it's every 2 months you got to pay back, or maybe you pay back at the end of like the 6 years or whatever their term is. But usually, when it comes to credit repair, when it comes to credit, it's 100% in your control. If you pay on time, you're going to be good. If you do not pay on time, you're going to get late. Eventually, it can turn into collection, repo, whatever the case is. That's when you need credit repair. So a lot of times, my credit repair clients, it's either, hey, I was young, I was dumb, I was making mistakes, and that's fine. That happens. And in that case, I work with those type of people. But if it's somebody saying like, oh, the bank did me wrong, oh, I didn't know I had to pay him back. Usually, sometimes I might not work with those type of people. It just depends on the mindset, but there's usually going to be some type of problem. If it is a legit problem, maybe it's when they were younger. And then I'd say maybe the last thing is sometimes mistakes happen. When you're making payments, you can set up what's called auto pay. So the bank will automatically draw a payment to pay your bill. Sometimes those things don't fire off the way they should. And sometimes people don't check, and sometimes they get a late payment. So it just depends on the situation. If they can explain it, that's when I know, okay, they're legit. It was an honest mistake. But sometimes I can talk to people and right away know like the intention. Like they just took money out to blow it and never had plans on paying people back. So those are the type of people I personally avoid.
Yeah, yeah.